plenty of reasons to make Xandão really tense. Things are complicated for him. They brought in one of the top investigators from the United States to detail absolutely everything he did regarding the censorship issue. Today, it's a holiday for us. But for us Christians, it's not that important, right? On the day that our Heavenly Father died to save us, a bombshell dropped. A bombshell, let me tell you. Marias was present on dates close to the jet trips with the banker. This pretty much buries any chance of defense for Alexandra de Marias. Goodbye, it's over. Look at this. The press is reporting this to Dadell. It's going to be very hard for him to get away. This is a smoking gun. It's a smoking gun? Have you seen the case, Lipstick on the Collar? Have you ever known a friend who went through that situation? He got home with lipstick on his collar. There's nothing to explain, baby. There's nothing to explain, baby. There's nothing. Or you get home, with lipstick here on your shirt collar. What are you gonna say? Oh, it was a friend, but on your underwear. A friend on your underwear, right there, played a prank on you. That's tough, isn't it? Estadão, it's not me, it's Estadão. Marias flew on a plane owned by Vorcaro's company on the eve of a meeting with the banker. Documents indicate. The minister states that he did not fly with Vorcaro and did not use planes registered in the banker's name. Marias keeps denying it, but it's all there. The survey is based on cross-referencing data from the Congressional Inquiry into Organized Crime in Aviation, the account of a pilot, and conversations with the owner of Master. All of this is also coming out in what's already happening with the plea bargain. With the police, people say it's with the Attorney General's office. But no, it's not with the Attorney General's office. There's no Attorney General's office involved. It's the federal police from Andre's group, and Andre is the one showing all of this here. There's one detail I'll explain to you. The governor of Brasília is the key. He's the key, understand this. Here, he's the... To prove Bolsonaro's innocence, the innocence of all these thousands of victims who are being held hostage there, from January 8th, what do you mean? Fabiano Guigué, I'll explain. Xandão went there and boom, issued several orders. Put the governor of Brasília in a tough spot. He had put him in that situation until he stopped being governor at the beginning of the term and all that. All orders, besides Xandão. All orders. Just watch what happened. Let's remember that the governor of Brasília, Ibanez Costa, is a multimillionaire. He's extremely rich. One of the richest families in Brasília. Filthy rich. Filthy rich. But there's one thing I have to say. It's not because he's from that family that he shouldn't pay. If he did something wrong, he should pay, and pay properly. Pay properly. I don't cover up for anyone. But there's a detail. January 8th was a farce to blame Bolsonaro, hold him captive, and keep him from campaigning politically, right, from what we're seeing. But it didn't work at all. If Bolsonaro were free, maybe Flavio's campaign wouldn't be getting such a big and strong reaction. Maybe it wouldn't have this effect. They shot themselves in the foot. The governor, okay? The governor. Xandão went there and removed him from the January 8th investigations. He was the only one who got out. He was the only one who got out of the January 8th investigations. And then there's that whole discussion. BRB is run by the governor of Brasília. He tried to buy Master. They say in the messages from Maju, right? From Maju over at Globo, that Vorcaro tried, right, to get BRB to buy it, and that whole situation. There were negotiations. And Xandão removed the governor there. Because, according to Maju, Xandão was trying, to make some contact there to save Daniel Vorcaro's banco master. And then, coincidentally, the one who manages it, the governor is practically the owner of the bank, not the governor of Brasília. He was the only one who got out of the investigations. The others didn't. The only one who got out. Ibanez. He's the key to proving the innocence of everyone we know is innocent, but also to exposing Xandão. But I also say this to you all. Does the governor owe anything? We know. Pressure, my friends, is pressure. It's the pressure from someone who, Xandão had put him in those investigations. He was in that tough situation. The guy gets desperate. He's a governor. It could be that the guy takes that into account, right? That he did something wrong, he did, but it didn't help at all. If Ibanez went to the press and said, look, so-and-so approached me to do this and that, nothing would happen. They say he's from the right. No, Ibanez is lying. The other side there is telling the truth. Now you're gonna be arrested, Ibanez. He'd already be in jail. Look, if this really happened and he had reported it, that's it, what happened. He would be in jail today. He'd be in jail. But about 500 arrests for him, and the media would side with whoever ordered his arrest. I'm still sparing names here. The media. The press would. And he is the key. He's the key. That will prove it. That this was nothing more than a political process. Political? Okay, because it's hard to explain this here. Messages seized by the federal police indicate that businessman Daniel Vorcaro mentioned meetings with Alexandra de Moraes on dates close to the trips taken by the magistrate on the executive jet linked to the banker. And to his brother-in-law, right? Fabiano Zaitel. A survey by Globo, with conversations during trips. The parliamentary inquiry into the INSS identified at least 3 episodes in August 2025, in conversations between Vorcaro and his then-fiancée, Marta Greff, which coincide in time with the travels of Moraes and his wife, the lawyer Viviana Barsi. The Parliamentary Inquiry Commission knew about this, but it was forbidden to disclose it. The Parliamentary Inquiry Commission was aware of the private jet trips. They knew, but they were forbidden to disclose it. There must be a lot more, okay? A lot more. On May 21st, the day before one of those flights, Vorcaro wrote, "I'm at home, love," to his fiancée, Ciro and Alexandre, also mentioning Senator Ciro Nogueira. The next day, Moraes appears in boarding records at the Executive Aviation Terminal at Brasília Airport. Minutes later, a jet from Prime Aviation, the company Vorcaro was associated with at the time, took off bound for São Paulo. If this were in the United States, the guy would have been removed a long time ago. There in the United States, the biggest country in the world, people travel on commercial flights. Not in a private jet like here. This is an aberration. An aberration. And Moraes kept denying. Banned today, right? The radio here, look, the whole thing has collapsed. The strongman from Banco Master, Daniel Vorcaro, not only gave a ride, he left his fingerprints all over WhatsApp. "I'm with Alexandra," the banker confessed. But the bombshell is even dirtier. Band News reveals that the flights were clandestine. Aircraft from Vorcaro's company, without authorization for air taxi service, were shuttling the powerful back and forth. There are 8 illegal flights and a contract worth $129 million, involving, as you know, Vorcaro himself, served up the evidence on a platter. He served up the evidence on a platter. Here it is. I'm posting it on X since I can't share it here due to copyright issues. Bombshells are coming from all sides against Xandão. Then this one comes along. This one right here, look. John Solomon. John Solomon, according to what Julio Schneider says here, is an investigative journalist. Look who Trump is bringing in. Influential in the United States and founder of Just the News. He put Brazil at the center of an international debate by echoing criticism from American lawmakers about censorship. Alexandre de Moraes is mentioned in the middle. When the name of Brazil's Supreme Court enters the American political agenda, the issue stops being internal. It becomes a global matter. That's a fact, okay? A lot of times, for example, you see an American artist. Let's take, an artist I really like, for example. Let's take Ray Charles, for example. I like Elvis and all. There are a lot of American artists. I like country music too, George Strait, Garth Brooks. But let's take Ray Charles. I'm a huge fan of Ray Charles. Ray Charles, he was a blind pianist. A great artist. Not an artist at the Brazil level, like those Brazilian MPB guys, the ones who are the most whiny and living off handouts. I'm referring to an artist who never drained the American people's pockets, Ray Charles. His success isn't just in the United States. It doesn't stay there. When an American singer makes it big, when an American artist succeeds, it's not just within the United States. They come here to Brazil, go to Japan, go to England, go to Korea, go everywhere. They go all over the world, right? And that's the same question. When a case like this, like the Xandão case, it enters the American sphere, the American news cycle, and it goes worldwide. Xandão is known all over the world today. It's the same case, because events in the United States become global, but not here. How long have we watched Alexandre de Moraes' wrongdoings remain unnoticed outside our country? Now it got there. Look at that. Brazil reaffirms itself as a global threat to censorship with the help of Stanford. According to House Republicans, it's here. The Supreme Court of Brazil is targeting the son of the persecuted former president, Eduardo, right? Eduardinho, who lives in the United States. According to the committee's report, Stanford brought together regimes with the worst records of extraterritorial censorship in a roundtable to coordinate a global digital censorship initiative. Don't you see how things are? Guys, they censored Neto. Neto's song. I put it here in the video. Do you want to see it, for those who haven't seen it? I'll put it here. Look, hold on. Do you want to see it? I had already put it up. You guys have no idea. Look here. They censored Neto. He made a wonderful song. They're saying it was inspired by Vorcario. In the case of Vorcario, with all those beautiful women and so on, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 20, 100. Right? The guy was tireless. Then there's Zay. Zay is, how do you say it? He's sad. He writes, Z made an awesome song to put out there and make it a hit. Z made a wonderful song. They censored it. Z thought it was a joke and said so, thinking it was an April Fool's prank. But there was a lawsuit, so you can't do that. The court ordered Neto not to release the song. Look at the level we've reached. Singer. One of the biggest singers in Brazil. Censored with a censored song because of the Vorcario case. Vorcario, Xandão, Lula, Master, the PT in Bahia. All these elements, Toffoli, everything. Neto, composer, singer, one of the biggest sertanejo duos, him and Cristiano. These guys are top-notch, one of the strongest names in sertanejo. He is being prevented from singing. From releasing a new song, because they're saying it's inspired by Vorcario. Neto is censored. They're trying to silence a musician in Brazil. Look at the level our country has reached. I could imagine anything, silencing Bolsonaro, silencing the right, but silencing Neto, a song, I'm saying it again here on this channel. Just imagine if the government were Bolsonaro and did this to Ceboso or to Gil or with those guys. Take the lyrics of a song by Anitta and you'll see how vulgar it is. It's vulgar. She sings there just fine, and she should sing, really. Whoever wants to listen, listens. Whoever doesn't want to, doesn't. Now Zay, who doesn't have anything vulgar, made a song, and they told Zay not to promote the song, and they put it under seal. Put it under seal. Keep it secret. No one needs to know, or it puts pressure on the justice system. They silenced one of the greatest artists in this country. That's Zay, Neto, and Cristiano. Everything's normal on Earth. On Earth, is that okay? Democracy and the democratic state governed by the rule of law. Rule of law. Of the democratic state governed by the rule of law. One of the boys who helps the people the most is that boy right there. I've seen it. I'm saying it here. I can prove it.